Good day. In this video we're going to look at 3 ways in which we can solve a quadratic equation, specifically this one. We can do it by either factorizing or the quadratic formula or by completing the square. Before we run through these 3 techniques, please remember if there's any school mathematics problem that you have that you're not sure about, you may send it to this number with a WhatsApp photo. Then we will look at it, try and solve it, and send it back to you for free as soon as possible. So the first way to solve a quadratic equation is to use factorizing. That learners can do in grade 9 already. Firstly, we bring everything to one side and equate it to 0. We take it to the side where the x squared is positive. Then we factorize it by breaking it up into 2 brackets, x and x, 1 and 6. Of course, the minus is at the back. The signs are different. Biggest guy goes to the minus, put the minus there, plus there. Then we have 2 calculations. X plus 1 equals to 0 or x minus 6 equals to 0, and we solve them separately. So our final answer is x equals to minus 1 or x equals to 6. The second method is using the quadratic formula. This is the best and safest method from grade 11 up. And we use it when the quadratic equation is a little bit more difficult with bigger numbers or uglier numbers. First, we find out what a, b, and c is. A is the thing in front of the x squared, in this case 1. B is the thing in front of the x, that is minus 5. And the c is the thing at the back without any x, that's minus 6. Now we substitute these numbers into the formula. Very important, when you substitute in maths into formulas, you always substitute in brackets. So that b gets replaced by a bracket minus 5, and so with all the variables. Then we push this into the calculator. Then if you use the plus first, you'll get one of the answers. And if you use the minus second, you'll get the second answer. Again, the answer is x equals to minus 1 or x equals to 6. Many children use this formula non-stop because they didn't understand their factorizing in the junior classes. The last method is solving a quadratic equation by completing the square. This you only do if you are forced to or if you like this technique. Again, this technique has quite a few variations. I will stick to the one I like. I keep everything on one side, write x squared minus 5x, leave a big gap, keep my minus 6 there, equals to 0. Completing the square tells you to take the thing in front of the x, in this case minus 5, divide it by 2 and square it. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put a plus over here, put a bracket, take the minus 5 in front of the x, put it over 2 and square that. Because I now added something into my equation, I must now also take it away again. So I'm going to minus exactly what I wrote here. Then my equation is balanced out again. Now you have finished completing the square. Just watch the writing. The first thing you do is you put a set of brackets with a square in the air. You take this x squared and you square root it and you write it over here. Then you take the number inside this bracket and you write it over here, everything that you see there. And that is minus 5 over 2. So that green part over there has been rewritten like this. Now we work out this on the calculator and write the answer here. Everything with the minuses, the squares, everything. And that gives you minus 49 over 4. The original question said solve for x, so we've got to get that x alone. We're going to move the stuff away from x, furthest guy first. So I'm first going to take this guy over, then square root it, and then bring this guy over. Like I said, I took this guy over, it becomes plus 49 over 4. Then, to get rid of the square, I have to square root both sides. Please remember that when you bring a square root into an equation, here the square will fall away, and here you have to put a plus minus the square root of what you have there. That will give me plus or minus 7 over 2. Then we break the sum into 2 parts. This x minus 5 over 2 becomes plus 7 over 2, or x minus 5 over 2 becomes minus 7 over 2. Just solve those 2 equations separately. Then x equals to plus 6 or x equals to minus 1. Use a calculator if it's ugly numbers. Please indicate whether you liked or disliked this video and subscribe to the channel.